Okay, I'll record it because I'm not sure whether Nicola needs these recorded or not, but I'll record it anyway. So, Karen, hold on, let me just check the chat as well, make sure I've got that up. Okay, no worries, Mandy. If you've got any questions, just yeah, I put you on mute because there was quite a lot of background noise. So I've just popped you on mute. But if you have got any questions, just unmute yourself or pop it in the chat and I can answer them from there. But yeah, Karen, how are you kind of getting on with your social media? What's your relationship like with your social media?
Terrible. I don't tend to have a strategy, although I do in my head, but I
Mhm.
do struggle with plan it out, writing it down, unless I've got someone that's telling me what to do. So now I've got a strategy from what I'm doing at the minute,
Mm.
but my posts are very much like personal posts. This is what's going on in my life, asking questions about stuff, and then by my shit posts, what I call them. There's nothing in between, so I kind
Okay.
of think I need help with the bridge in between the getting to know me and posting about what I offer without being, full on just buy my stuff.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And this is what a lot of people do struggle with. It's interesting because I was chatting to my membership guys this morning because we have an accountability group. And so every day it's about asking them, how are they getting on today with their social media? What are they doing? And it's really interesting that everybody kind of has the same thing when they first start their relationship with social media, because it's this being told what to do by so many different people that you get this kind of confusing message. And you get to this point where everybody's saying to you, well, you need to be on this platform, you need to be here. I mean, there's over 100 social media platforms, so it's really difficult to be on every single one of them. But the main ones that we know are Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok. You might be on Be Real, you might be on Threads, you might be on Snapchat. But it's actually thinking, oh my God, that's the overwhelm on that is, it just takes it to another level. And then you start panicking. And I always say to people, and what I coach is simple social media, because simple actually does work. And I'm proof of that because that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. And that's what, and that's what I've been coaching for the last 8 years, is how to do it really simply. Because the problem is they know that they need to do social media. They know that it's going to help them grow their business. So they'll go and pay for this course. They'll go and watch this training. They'll go and follow this person. And they'll say to them, right, I want you to go and do da, 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 da. So you're all enthusiastic. You go off, you do it. And within 2 weeks, I can guarantee you've got overwhelm, stress, and burnout. And you just kind of go, do you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore, because what you're doing, because you're trying to do everything, you don't put your heart and soul into it, you don't sell your event, you don't sell anything, you're not making money from social media, so your relationship changes, you actually break up with it, you stop, you ghost it completely, and then you kind of have this thing in your mindset that social media doesn't work, it's not for me, and then you never look at it again. Or you might reapproach it again later on when you feel that you're more kind of decompressed and you're not stressed out about it. But actually, the way that I coach and train is actually, if you actually do things simply and you do them one step at a time over a 3-month period, actually does work. You get into a habit, you see the results, you don't find it stressful, you don't find it overwhelming, and then you can start implementing it really, really easily. And you start creating this habit and this method that actually does work. Because exactly what you've said there, Karen, is that it's about having that strategy, but also it's about knowing what your focus is on. And one of the things that I always do when I work with my clients, we don't actually talk about social media, we talk about their business, because I'm a business strategist consultant as well. It's actually about understanding what's going on in your business, because a lot of people that have really successful social media and social media works for them actually know what's going on in their business. They have a business plan, they have a business strategy, and the two marry up and they work really well. I sell something through social media every single day. I'm not kind of being big-headed and saying that I get, when you see all these screenshots of people going, oh, look at my Stripe, blah, 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 blah. Not like that at all. It will be if you do a launch, because that's normally when they're sharing this stuff is, you know, they've had a launch, they've done an early bird and 20 people have bought from them and they can screenshot that. Great. But actually, I have someone buying something from me every single day because I know exactly what I'm doing in my business. I have a structure of where my positioning is with my services. I have something for every single budget. So I kind of work on this 1, 2, 3 method. So it's making sure that I have a product in my business that suits someone on this budget, and this budget, because we all have different needs from what we need from our social media. And then this is where my social media content and my marketing and my strategies come in, because I know exactly what's going on here. Then becomes really easy. So one of the things I always say to people before you even start looking at the psychology around how people are buying through social media, think about what you're doing in your business. Do your products and your services align with your audience? Because one of the things is you've got to be really careful is if you're selling a high ticket product, and I've come across this really recently with one of my clients. She was selling high ticket, but all of her audience was low ticket. And she said, but I'm not selling any of this. I said, no, because these guys can't afford this, or they're not in a place in their lives where they need this. So you've got to do one of two things. You either change your product to suit these people, or you change your audience to suit your product. So you've got to decide which way you work it. So what happened is then, oh, we've got a, hold on, I'm just going to, we had a screen share there. So you've got to then decide around, you know, whether everything kind of comes together. And it's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle. We've got all these little pieces that we need to have in place to make this beautiful kind of image. And if we don't have all of these pieces, social media kind of doesn't work. So I always say to people, first of all, go and have a look and see what your service and your products are that you're offering. Make sure they align with who your audience are. Make sure that you are growing your audience to align with your products, but then you need to focus your social media on those services and those products. So yes, you can build in themes, and you know, I often talk to themes with clients because themes are really simple to implement. So it's my version on content pillars, but I do find that content pillars are quite overwhelming and stressful, because you look at them and kind of go, okay, I get that idea, but because they're a little bit more technical and they go in depth into, they're quite wordy, and they do stress people out. Whereas when you flip it and you turn it into themes, it does make it a lot more simple, and people can get their head around things, but they're actually the same as what content pillars are. It's just that I've reworded them to make them a lot simple, especially because I work with a lot of people that neurodiverse. Myself, I'm ADHD, I've got dyslexia, so I like simple. I don't do complicated. So with reference to what I always say, so there's kind of steps that you need to kind of look at. So think about what's going on in your business. Is everything aligned? So your products and your services, is your website aligned with what you're talking about in your social media? Are your lead magnets and your landing pages all aligned as well? And these are the things that a lot of people forget, because they kind of think to themselves, okay, where is everything going? So for example, all of my lead magnets are social media based, but then the idea is for them to grow my email marketing list every single month, but then we have an email automation that is then upselling them. Okay, so when they download something, a free resource of me, they'll get an option to purchase my ultimate guide, and then they get an invite into the membership, and that's what we do. But I'm not heavy on email automation. I'm not a fan of email automation and spamming. So I have a very gentle approach rather than bam, 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 bam. So you've got to decide what your audience want to see and what aligns with you. Once you've got all of that in place, that then really helps with your social media structure, because you then create a list of what your products and your services are, because you know you've got to talk about those on a regular basis. You know you've got your lead magnets and your landing pages, so you build that into your strategy as well. You then need to think about all the things that are going on in your life. And I'm not talking about the argument you had with your partner or something that's really negative. I mean, actually, negative stuff can actually be turned around into a positive thing. And sharing it isn't necessarily a call for woe is me, I want sympathy, I'm a victim. But we can actually turn negative things into positive things to raise awareness and to share. But one of the things that we do with our social media is we hide behind the keyboard and the screen. And what happens is we don't come across as us. So what you see on my social media is what you see in real life. It's what you see here on screen is what you see when you meet me at an event. I'm the same person. And that's really important. I love the saying from Oscar Wilde, be you because everyone else is taken. And unfortunately, so many people feel that they have to be someone else on their social media in order to win business, but it doesn't. It does for a short period of time, but long lasting and building those relationships, it doesn't. And we're not in our business just for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. We want to grow it and we want to maintain it and we want to build it. And ideally, what you want to be doing is you want this group of people that are following you, that are cheerleading you, that are always going to be buying from you, because it's easier to sell to people that you're already connected with and already know you than it is to find new clients. It costs more to find new clients. So it's, it's making sure that you've got those products and services so they're constantly buying from you. So for example, if I take my membership product, there's 3 levels to it. And the idea around that is level 1, they come in and they get access to me and I'm helping them with their social media. Level 2, yeah, it's a little bit more money, but that means they get more access to me on a one-to-one basis. Level 3, a little bit more money, but they get more of me on a one-to-one basis. And the idea is they'll go from here to here to here, or from here to there, to there, to there. And it's creating this circle where actually, whenever they need a little bit more Sam, a little bit more boost of Sam, or actually I'm okay now, Sam, I'm going to go back down to here. And what it's actually creating, it's creating this income for me where actually I don't have to go out and be heavy on my social media and say, right, I need more people in my membership to then go to here, to go to there, because the people in the membership are going, do you know what, if this is what I'm getting from her just for this, imagine what I'm going to get if I go here, imagine what I'm going to get if I go there. And Sam, great, we've worked together for 3 months now, you've really helped me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump down to here for a month, and then I'm going to go back down to here. And that's where you then kind of create this effect where, it's like a triangle effect, where you've just got everybody in your pool, and you're welcome to let other people in, but you're just kind of maintaining that. And that's what our email lists are all about as well, is getting people in so that we can advertise to them and then they're buying. And then when we release something new, they're buying and buying and buying. So you have to kind of create this. And when you start thinking like that, it does make a lot of difference as well. So when you've got your list of all the things that are going on in your business, you then need to think about how you incorporate that into your social media strategy. So for example, when we're working, so at the moment, our social media strategy is about filling my mastermind spots. So there's 2 left. We kick off at the beginning of May. So our focus, or my focus, mine and the team's focus, is making sure that we're getting messages out to fill those last spots for the mastermind. Once we've finished that, our next focus will be to launch the Social Media Specialist Academy. So we then know that our social media for a certain amount of period is going to be focused on that. Then we'll launch our Let's Get Ready to Launch program, and then our focus will be that. And then I've got a summit that's launching, so our focus will then go to that. So we, over the next 3 months, we have a clear plan of what our main objectives are, because they're the products and services that we are launching in the business. However, we need to make sure that we're giving airtime to the Can't Be Asked, Done For You service, which is my social media management package, the membership, And then anything else that I'm kind of like my lead magnets, getting people into my free masterclasses that I run each month. So that we know that, yes, we've got these main things. So we have 3 tiers when it comes to our strategy. And I love working in 3 tiers. Every part of my business is working in structures of 3 because it's really simple and really easy to implement. So not all of my products and services are in 3 tiers, and so is my social media strategy. My business strategy is exactly the same as well. So the first tier are the main things. So they're products that really need that focus each month. And that's going to be a high percentage of what your social media content's going to be talking about. Then the next tier are all the other things that you need to be marketing and making awareness, because people need to see things 27 times before they trust and buy it. So you need to make sure that if you're running an event, so for example, I'm running a huge business event in November, going to have over 100 people in the room in person. I can't just launch that in September and say, in 6 weeks, I've got this big event. We actually launched it in March, with like planting seeds, getting speakers, getting sponsorship, for the sponsorship packages in, and talking to people about it. I haven't even created the sales page yet. I haven't even launched the tickets, but I have sold 20 tickets already. So by launching it really early, I'm taking the pressure off myself, because I know I've got to sell so many tickets in order to actually pay for the venue, because this event's costing me like 12 grand. So I've got to think, okay, where's that £12,000 coming from? So I need to sell enough tickets and enough sponsorships in order to pay for that event, so that event then happens. So what we've got this plan throughout the month where we will be talking about it. We will be saying, get your tickets. We've got an early bird offer launching, and then we'll make sure that we're really hyping it up. Once we've got the speakers, we'll be getting the speakers involved. We've got affiliate links. So we've got this big, massive marketing plan around how that works. So it makes it a huge success. So if I'm saying to people, there's going to be 100 people in the room during the day and a minimum of 80 people in the evening for the party, then you've got to make sure that you deliver on that, because that's why people are buying those tickets. So I've got to put the work in, but as long as you've got a plan, and I'm doing it early now, I kind of think to myself, well, if I've sold 20 tickets on the back of actually not doing anything, the rest is going to be easy, really, really easy. So you have this tier 1 where it's your main products and services. Then you have a tier 2 where you've got to build in all your other little bits and pieces that you're doing. And then tier 3 is bringing in you and what's going on in your world. And what we need to do, we need to have a balance. So the balance is 50-50. It's a balance of 50% business post, 50% personal post. And the great thing is, when we are putting business posts out, they actually can be personal. And when we're putting personal posts out, they can have a business twist to them as well. So we don't have to just have this kind of, oh, everything's got to be business related, because we don't like, as human beings, we don't like being sold to. So when you walk down the high street, or you're in one of these big shopping centres, the people that have got the pop-up pods that are selling you things, or they've got the clipboards, when we see that, or we automatically have someone coming to us, our natural defense is to go, no, 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 go away. I pick my phone up and I pretend I'm on the phone. And that's not me being rude. I don't cope well in those situations, because I don't like saying no to people. And it might be the best charity in the world, but I already give a lot of money to charities already each month. So I don't need another one. I don't need any more packages on Sky, because we have Disney, Netflix, Paramount, we have the whole shebang. We have Apple TV. I mean, God, we have more bloody TV channels than I can throw a stick at. But what we do is, it's our natural defense, because as human beings, we don't like being sold to. So we have to be really, really careful with our social media, because it works in exactly the same way. We don't like being sold to on social media. Our buying power, the psychology around buying power, is this need over want. So when we see, so if I give you the example of the Stanley Cup, the cup, the really ugly cup. I'm sorry if you've got one. you've had FOMO, you've brought one off TikTok, or you've gone into B&M and you've brought one. They have sold absolutely millions of them. So traditionally, the Stanley Cup was designed for men. It was a work cup because Stanley are working, okay? So it was designed for construction. Then they kind of thought to themselves, right, we've got a different market here. They started trending on TikTok. Women started using them and they were like, okay, we're missing a trick here. We need to put different colors out. We need to up our marketing. We need to change the gender of our marketing from male to female. And it was the best thing they ever did. Because yes, exactly, they are everywhere, and different companies. So B&M have got their own one. You can buy them on Amazon. You can get them in all different colors. I personally think they are the most ugliest. I do, you know, I love a thermal mug, but I'm not a fan. Okay, I'm not a fan of them. I don't have one, but there is this FOMO. And I can guarantee you that everyone that has brought one of those didn't need it, because I bet if they open up their cupboard, they've got another 10 drinking fossils or vessels in their cupboard already. But it's this FOMO, all right? So that is a want over a need, okay? So we have to make sure that when we are promoting our products and our services, that we are telling our audience that they actually do need this in their lives. They do need to part with their money, and they need me in their life to help them with their social media. So we need to make sure that we're doing one of two things. Yes, there is this FOMO element, and I'm not talking about the FOMO of, oh, I'm going to an event, so I've no idea what the event is, but all my mates are going, so I'm going to go. I love that FOMO. And I was in a bit of a discussion with someone about this the other day, because they were saying that they're really anti-FOMO when it comes to events, and they only go to events if they feel that that event is going to benefit them or their business, and they don't go just because their mates are going. And I had a discussion with them and said, actually, I think you're wrong, because I went to an event last year, Be Inspired, in March. It's the first event I'd been to in 4 years, face to face. And I went because I was basically dragged there by a friend. But I had so much FOMO from that 2 days that while I was there, I booked my ticket for the next one, which was September last year. Now, from the back of that event, both of those events, I have had so much work, made so many connections. It has boosted my confidence. It has got me. I had someone message me yesterday and say, Sam, I want to know what your secret is, because you are literally everywhere. You're at every event. You're in speaking here. You're speaking there. I literally go to my social medias and you are there. Yes, it's if though I have thrown up on the online world and the face-to-face world. That's what I wanted to create. And that's what's happened with me going to these events, because I'm meeting people, I'm connecting with these people. These people are coming into my world. I'm now in their world. And it's building this, basically, this atomic bomb of me being where I need to be. So there is a real positive thing from FOMO, and that's why we do need to be at these events, because our social media complements all of that. Anyway, I kind of went off piste, which I do very often, but that's it. There is method in my madness, and it does all come together. So hold on a minute, because my office door is shut. It gets really warm in my office, and the sun's on the back of my office as well at the moment. So just bear with me while I'm not going to strip off anymore, I promise. So what we need to do with our social media is we need to kind of create that FOMO as well. So any testimonials you've got, any reviews you've got, when you are at events, these are the things that you need to be sharing, because you need to be telling people how amazing you are. You need to be telling people that you're mixing with these people, you're at these events. One of the things that I'm really passionate about, if I'm going to an event, I will promote it for that person, because if I'm going, I know my audience will want to come as well. And this isn't me being big-headed. This is actually people saying, well, if you're going, I know it's going to be a good event, because you don't go to crap events, Sam. You go to good events, because you know that by going to these events, they're going to help you grow your business. So I'm coming with you. And that's what I do, you know, and that's one of the things that I love doing on my social media, is promoting other people. So once a day, I normally will promote someone's event, or anything like that. So again, when we're looking at our 3 tiers for our social media, we've got our things that we really need to focus on. They're going to be our big money makers for that month. Then we need to make sure that we're highlighting all the other things that we do. So our lead magnets, our free trainings, what we, you know, what's going on in our business that's going to make us money. So the top 2 things that you are doing in your tiers are the ones that are making you money. Okay. The bottom tier is what's going on in your life, in your business, that don't necessarily make you money, but they are the leap pad to those 2 things. So events that you're going to. So this is where the themes come into it. So the bottom layer, a lot of people can struggle with, because we've got this business stroke personal. We don't want to oversell, but we do know that we need to sell. So we need to make sure that we're putting our content out. So it's encouraging people to buy from us and thinking, actually, I need this in my life, rather than it being, is it a want? Is it a need? Do I want to part with my money? Oh, do I do it? Do I not? Can I afford it? Is it going to make any difference? We need them to think, actually, yes, this is. I need to invest in myself. I need to invest in my business. This is what I need to do. So it's kind of looking at, you know, what we've all done it. So we've gone to Tesco's, haven't we, for that pint of milk, and we've gone in and we go, oh, the clothes. I'll just go and have a look at the clothes. And before we know it, there's a dress and there's a top, and in the trolley, actually, we've swapped the basket out for a trolley because we know that we're not going to just buy the milk. We then walk round and we see that 2 for 1 offer. Don't really need those biscuits, but they're 2 for 1, so it's a bargain. I'm going to stick those in as well. And before we know it, we've spent 50 quid. But you know what? We forgot to buy the milk, because the way that supermarkets do it is very, very clever, but it's very, very simple. They leave the buying power to us. There's no pressure from salespeople saying, can I help you? Is there anything I can help you with? Because as soon as someone says that to you in a shop, you went in that shop for a reason. But as soon as someone turns around and says, can I help you? Go, no, I'm only browsing. Because you don't want to be forced into thinking that you're paying, you know, you're spending money on things that you don't need. Okay. So when we go into a supermarket, because we don't have any of that, the buying power is left to us. So we just go around and go, like that, I'm going to get that. Oh, I like that as well. Oh, that's too much of a deal. I need that. I don't need it, but I want it, so it's going in there. And that's the way that we have to think of our social media, is actually don't pressurize people, but at the same time, we've got to have this balance. So if you go and have a look at my social media, mainly Facebook, you'll kind of see a pattern on my personal profile. My personal profile on Facebook is my #1 go-to social media platform. So again, when it comes to my social media, I have a 1, 2, 3. So I have Facebook, have Instagram, and then I have TikTok. So Facebook is my main. So we have my Facebook personal profile, we have my business page, we do stories, and we do reels. Then when we go to Instagram, we do timeline posts, we do stories, we do reels. And then when it comes to TikTok, we'll put posts on there and we'll put reels. We'll convert the reels into TikToks, because I want to make sure that I'm just in 3 places. I might touch LinkedIn now and then, but I'm not. LinkedIn, I just find is, and if you're a prude or you've got children listening, please turn off now, because I'm going to swear. But I just find LinkedIn is full of people that are like, my dick's bigger than yours. And it's not where I want to be. So I will always say, whatever platforms you are picking, pick platforms that make you happy. Not because they annoy you, because they've got these glitches, or you've seen notifications from 3 weeks ago or posts from 6 weeks ago. Think about where you're happy, because if you are happy on a platform, it will come naturally to you because you feel comfortable. Okay. Then always work really hard on that one platform. Then bring in a secondary platform. And that secondary platform is then when you kind of go, okay, I'm not going to give it as much as my all as my first one, but I'm going to have some visibility on there. So basically what you're putting out on this platform, you'll put out on this one. And then you might have a third one. Okay. But what I will say is, if you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed with one platform, stick to one platform until you master it. Then bolt on another one, and then another one. Okay. Don't overwhelm yourself, because it's not just about putting posts out. Social media is a 2-way street. You might put so this is kind of what I do every single day with my Facebook. I'm really lucky because I do have a team. So my team looks after my Instagram. I don't have to worry about that. And I kind of control Facebook because that's my baby, that's my comfort zone, that's where I'm happy. And TikTok, I kind of just go, oh, do you know what? I'll just stick it on TikTok and see what happens. All right. I do have a strategy, but I'm not overly worried because for me, my business doesn't come from TikTok. It comes from Instagram and it comes from Facebook. TikTok's just about growing that visibility. And the jury's still out with me with TikTok, with so many countries kind of saying they're back, you know, they're not happy with TikTok, they're thinking of banning it. And also a lot of the music is being taken down from TikTok as well, which causes issues. So it's not a platform I would put all my eggs into. No way. But we shouldn't have all of our eggs in one basket. So please do make sure that you do have multiple platforms, that you have a profile established on, so that if something does happen, you can literally jump over and just kind of pick that up and go, right, this is my main priority. So what we want to do is this is what I do on a daily basis. And when I say daily basis, it's more Monday to Friday. I get to the weekends and I might not do as much. And the reason why I don't do much at the weekends is because my audience are business owners. They're not really that engaged from a Friday afternoon through to a Sunday night. So I kind of know as and when I need to kind of be present. So Monday to Friday, on my personal profile, I have 3 posts go out. So morning, mid-afternoon, and then in the evening. And that will be something that's a little bit lighthearted. So this morning's post was talking about the energy levels, especially with the Mercury and the full moons and everything else. It really fascinates me, but it blows my mind at the same time. Then this afternoon's post is, oh God, I can't remember what this afternoon's post is now. Just bear with me and I will tell you. Oh, I'm in a book collaboration, which goes live on the 24th of April. So I'm going to be starting that social media campaign this afternoon. And then this evening, I have a post going out talking about the 2 spaces left for my social media mastermind. So that's on Facebook, my personal profile. The reel I'm doing a reel for the book collab. That will go out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and my business page. The post I put out this morning will just stay on my personal profile. The post about my mastermind will go out. It's gone out on Instagram already, and it will go out on my business page. And it was a story yesterday, but we'll create it as a story later on as well. Then I'm in groups. So I'm in Facebook groups, not just my own groups, but other people's groups. And I'm very select around the groups that I have. First, they have to have my target audience in them. 2, I want to love the admin person. Okay, because if I don't like the admin person, not saying like that I'm like never going to talk to you, I need to like them. They need to align with what I talk about. They need to align with my kind of ethics and vision and mission. And I like to get on with them as well. If there's someone that's negative or I see their social media and go, they're not my people, I won't be in their group. And then what I will do, I'm in about 10 groups, and over the course of the week, I will make sure that I'm interacting at least 3 or 4 times. And that's not me spamming with telling them about my membership or my mastermind, because I know that those groups do have a day where we can sell ourselves. So that's the day when I put that information in. And I will pick whatever my top focus is, that will be my pick for the week that goes into those groups. But when I'm interacting in the other groups, it's about putting my own posts in there, whether it's offering tips or I need advice, or it's interacting on other people's posts and supporting them. And when I say that I will do 2 or 3, so each day I'll go into the groups and I'll go, right, okay, so I might do 3 today, 2 tomorrow, and then others, and I'll make sure that I'm being really active in those groups. Some of them are paid membership groups, so I'm more active in the paid membership groups than I am the free ones. But I find that they work really well for me, because what happens is when you're in a group, you can set your own bio up. So you go into your profile and you can set your own bio up. So when someone clicks on your name in a group, your bio comes up and it tells them how wonderful you are, what you do. So if you are in any groups and you're regular in them, and when I talk about regular, you're in them at least 2 or 3 times a week, make sure you get your profile set up. Something I would recommend doing is go through all your groups and get yourself out of the ones that you don't need to be in. Okay, because you want to make sure that you pin and highlight these main groups, because trust me, they will work. They're great at building relationships and getting your name out there. So if you set your profiles up really well as well, when people go to click on your name, they'll see exactly what it is that you'll do. They'll go, I need that. I need Sam in my life. I'm going to connect with her now on Facebook. And then what you're doing, what I do on my Facebook, they're now getting that message as well. So I'm hitting them in all different angles. What I tend to find happens is I connect with them on the group, through the group, they'll click on my profile, and the next minute I know they've signed up for something on my website, because of course it comes through as a notification on my email. So it's this great trail that I have. And then what I tend to find is they've done the free resource, and then they start their journey from buying from me. So it's a really good, groups are really good lead magnets. You might not see them as that, but if you use them in the right way, they are. So that is kind of my Facebook. Okay, so Instagram, we have a post go out once a day. We have something that's it's pretty much all business related, because it's very niche. Because with Instagram, you need to be 90% niche and 10% more lifestyle, what you're doing. Okay, because that's why people are following you. They're following you because of who you are. And it's really interesting, because I used to have this strategy with Instagram, and this was when the strategy was right for Instagram, where it was 50-50 business and 50-50, like 50% personal. And then when it changed to, I just niched in and around what I did, the followers increased, the comments increased, and people messaging me asking for support and help really changed as well. So it's about actually making sure your Instagram is a lot more niche in around what you do. But then again, I have a lot of reels. When I'm doing my reels might be more personal. So it might be like, if we've been out for the day and I've taken loads of photographs, I'll make that into a reel. And then of course I shove those onto TikTok as well, because TikTok's a little bit of a mixture of personal stuff and also business things as well. So you need to make sure that when you're using these platforms, and if anyone is using LinkedIn, then again, it is just about actually, you use the kind of same the same strategy that you use on Facebook, use that on LinkedIn. There's no reason why it should be any different. LinkedIn is known as the business platform, but actually it's a social media platform, and nobody wants to see all business stuff. You need to have this balance, but at the same time, we do need to put business posts out as well. So what I will do, if I'm launching something, I will make sure that there is a post that has a nice graphic telling everybody all the details, where they can get, their tickets, or where they can sign up, what the price is going to be when it's launching. And then I'll have a post that will give them literally all the information that they need. And then my post from there. So for example, if I kind of give you the strategy around my mastermind, when we first launched the mastermind, it was telling people that I've got 6 spaces for my social media mastermind. This is what you're going to get. This is how much it is. This is when it starts. And then my social media posts from there were basically breaking it down. So it was talking about sharing reviews around and testimonials from people that have worked with me before in the mastermind, why people need the mastermind, how it's going to benefit with them. Because if someone's parting with nearly £1,000, they need to know that they're going to get value. So the first thing I need to do is I need to build trust that I'm the expert in what I do. Because if someone's going to pay me £1,000, I want to make sure that in those 3 months, they're going to get what I have set out to make them achieve. So my social media is talking about that. So it's not just talking about, you're going to know what platforms to use, you're going to be able to know what content to create. It's talking about everything else that they're going to learn from working with me for 3 months. And I break that down into posts. So how you do that is thinking about, why do people come to you? Write a list down of all the things why people come to you. So some of the things that people come to me is lack of confidence on social media. They're scared to post things, or they don't have the confidence to post things because they feel that they might offend someone, or people won't be interested, and it's that fear of rejection. They don't know what content to write, so I will put a post out about helping them with that. They're not sure how to be visible. They don't have a strategy. It's very scattergun approach. or their events aren't selling out, they're not making any money from their social media, they have a love-hate relationship, they don't know what platforms to use. So all time element is a huge thing. Okay, so I will create posts around all of these things and think to myself, okay, why would someone come and work with me? These are all the reasons. I now need to create posts around how I'm going to help them solve that problem. So how do I help people save time with their social media? How do I help people create content that's going to be engaging, that's then going to lead to an inquiry, to lead to a sale? How am I going to help people build their confidence, that they don't feel rejected, that they don't feel that what they're doing is a waste of time? How do I help them be more visible? How do I help them be more consistent? So you're creating this journey along the way around, so you've got your like launch period of when you're advertising and promoting your product. You've got this journey where you're telling a story, and you're telling it, and each of your posts is like a chapter, and each chapter is telling people how amazing you are, how you can help people, how they're going to get the results that you tell them that they're going to need, so that when they part with their money, whether it's £10 or £1,000, they know that they're going to get that value. Because somebody might see something and go, that's only 10 quid, but am I actually going to get value from that? It might only be £10. Some people will go with the mindset of, well, it's only 10 quid, so whether I do it or not, I've only lost £10. But some people will go, well, actually, that £10 actually is a lot of money to me at the moment. So am I actually going to get that return on investment? Am I going to get value from that £10? And that's what you've got to generate in your social media. So we then start, this is where the themes come in, because we need to start showing people that we are who we are and building up that trust. So talking about the themes, let me just have a quick drink. So when we talk about themes, we talk about Mondays as being, so you can talk about something that's motivational or inspiring. So it might be that you share a motivational quote, but you don't just share that quote, you share what is your thinking behind that quote, because that's going to get people really thinking, oh, I can relate with this person. I really get where Sam's coming from. This is somebody that I actually want to work with. And that's what we want to generate. Sorry, I'm drinking lemon water, and I've just eaten a pip, and I've just bitten on it, and I've got pip now all in my mouth. Sorry. Yeah, so we need to think about how people can actually relate to us, and that's one of the things that I really love when we actually bring us out in our social media, because I'm a great believer that the universe brings in our ideal client when we are us, when we're true to ourselves. And it's really interesting because a while ago I put out a post that said, if you can't be asked to do your social media, then we've got 3 spaces available for our done for you service. Anyway, I had lots of inquiries, people, oh, I'd love a quote, Sam, how much do you charge for doing my social media for me? I had one person message me and say, I wouldn't work with you. I don't think you're professional, and I don't like the language that you used. I went, that's nothing. If you're going to work with me, then I'm sorry, we're not the right fit, because that is literally, that's really like low level for me. Some of the wording that I use when we start working, and I'm honest with people, if you don't like me for who I am, we're not the right fit. So that's why I am who I am, not just on these trainings, but on my social media. Because if people don't like the way that I work, then we're not going to work together for 3 months. Because if I turn around and say to somebody, look, you need to be doing this, or you're not doing that, the reason this isn't happening because you're not doing that, we're not going to have a good relationship, and it's not going to work. So it's about being true to yourself. So when you start putting content out that's based around things, this really helps you be yourself. So if you share something that's motivational or inspiring, make sure it's coming from here, okay, your heart, because you can relate to it, because then other people will relate to it as well. Tuesdays, think about sharing tips. Now, a lot of people get a little bit like, oh, I don't want to share tips, because if I give too much information away, they won't come and work with me. You've got to stop thinking like that. You have to think about giving things away, because people need to see that you are the expert in what you do. I'm always giving stuff away. People say I overgive. I've got no problem with that, because the money's coming into the bank. Okay, so it doesn't bother me. The money comes in, and I'm happy to give it away, all right? Because that's the way I look at it, because they work in this triangle again. I give away the info, people can take it and use it for free, and they may never, ever buy from me. Other people will take it as I'm the expert. Great. I'm parting with money. I want to part with my money with Sam because Sam knows what she's talking about. And I know that she's going to get me the results. But what then happens is with the people here that don't ever buy from you and just take all your free stuff, so little, you know, like draining you of all the free stuff, what they will do, they'll feel guilty, so they'll recommend you. And that divides them back to here. So again, you have this 3-tier triangle. I love a triangle. So what you need to think about is actually sharing those tips and sharing advice and sharing knowledge. I do it all the time. I'm happy to tell people what they should and shouldn't be doing. That's my, you know, that's my advice. That's my knowledge. Other people might think something different. I put in a post, someone put in a post, one of the groups I'm in this morning, you might be in the same group. I don't know. It wasn't the Peaks one. It was a different one. You know, should we be using hashtags on LinkedIn? Someone put, yeah, definitely use them. They're a great source of searching. I then put a whole list as to why you shouldn't be using hashtags, not just on LinkedIn, not, and it was like, okay, I get it now, because there are reasons why, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just going to write that down because you're going to ask me about hashtags. So I'll write that down so I don't forget, because I don't want to lose my flow with where we're going. But sometimes our opinion can be very different to somebody else's, but as long as you back up that opinion, that's perfectly fine. And I will I will literally share with you exactly what I put so that you have an understanding of where I'm coming from, because I didn't just put, no, you don't use the hashtags on LinkedIn. I gave a good detailed response, okay? Because that is my opinion of how it works, and we test and we try stuff. So we, you know, I just don't just turn around and say, do this or do that. Everything that I coach and train is me testing. I test all the time, and I will read. So I watch 2 to 3 hours a day of blogs, videos, articles, correspondence around what's going on in the social media world. So it's everything's in here. It's just me sharing with you guys what you need to know. You don't need to know everything, because a lot of it's a load of crap or boring or won't affect your strategy. But I share the things that you do need to know. So going off piste again. Okay, so welcome to ADHD, Sam, and let's get social media specialist Sam back on track. So Wednesday, share behind the scenes. People want to see what's going on in your business, in your life. So it might be that you just share that you've been on this training. It might be that you're, you know, free session with Sam, and oh my God, I learned so much in just 1 hour with her. Share that, tag me. It might be that you take a photograph of you sitting at your desk with a cuppa ready for the day ahead. It might be that you have a new product that's arrived, so you open up that box and create a reel out of it. It might be that you're putting together a sales page or a lead magnet or your social media, or you're putting together a training for somebody, or whatever you're doing. Think about the things that help your business grow, because there's another list here. I do love a list. Love a list. So write a list down of all the things that make your business work, because we have all these behind the scenes things. Think about all the technology that you use. Think about all the stuff that you use, whether it's pens, paper, diary, pads, your car getting you to somewhere. When you really go into it, oh my God, honestly, you can come up with so many behind the scenes. So if I said to you, can you come up with 12 motivational quotes, 12 top tips, 12 things behind the scenes? You've got your content for the next 3 months. Simple. You then build in your 3-tier strategy. So your top things, your middle things, and your bottom things. You're sorted. Really, really easy. Can you see where I'm coming from now? Making it really simple. So on Thursdays, share your reviews, your testimonials, whether they are reviews that people have left on your website, your Google, whether they are screenshots of people just messaging you, telling you how amazing you are. Make sure you save them, you put them in a file. So whenever someone comments on a post, or they send me a message, or they tag me, I take a screenshot. It goes into a Canva file, goes into a Trello file, so that I know that I've got these, the team know that we can use them, and then we reach out to people and say, can we use them in our social media and our website and sales pages and everything else? They are gold, absolute gold. So don't be afraid to use those as well. A lot of people stop from sharing testimonials because they're afraid that they are going to, they're afraid that they're going to think of themselves as too big-headed. All right, or people won't like me because I'm being too big-headed. Not at all. When was the last time you bought something on Amazon that had a really bad review? You don't buy it. Okay, so reviews are what? They're priceless, absolutely priceless. Fridays, think about sharing frequently asked questions, fun facts about yourself, or what you've got planned for the weekend, or weekly wins and things like that. Get people engaging, because what we need to do with our posts is we need to make sure we've got call to actions with them. So there's two different call to actions. One, which is links, and put your links in the post. The myth about putting them in comments, it's a myth. All right, doesn't make any difference whatsoever to your reach or your engagement. Make it easy and simple for people to find things. So put your links in the actual post. And so that call to action is a call to action for people to leave your post and go and do something else, buy something, sign up for something, read something. So we won't expect engagement on that. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But people are watching. And I love a lurker. Okay. I can guarantee you now, a lurker is more likely to buy from you than somebody that engages with you. So you want to get your lurkers watching. Then you want posts with the other call to action where you're asking questions and they interact. Okay. And they then they answer that question. But the question needs to be really, really simple. All right, you can't have something that's really complicated, because we only have a 1 second attention span when it comes to social media. So as we're scrolling and we see something, if that question is really easy to answer, we'll do it there and then. But if it needs our brain power, or it needs like lots of time to type, we won't do it because we're too busy. We're really lazy when it comes to our social media. So make it really simple. And then at the weekends, just share what's going on in your world. Now, I ramp my social media back up on a Sunday night, and I'll often put out one of my top tier stuff on a Sunday night as well, because that's when my target audience are gearing back up for the week. Okay, so they've had a really lovely, relaxing weekend. They're sat down watching TV on a Sunday night. They're on their phones, scrolling, ready to get for the Monday. So you've got to know when your points are. So I always know that Wednesday, Thursdays are really good for me to plug something big, and Sunday nights. Okay, Fridays are a no-no, very, very light-hearted come Sunday lunchtime, because I just want to have a siesta I don't work Fridays anyway, and come Friday lunchtime, that's it. My weekend, in fact, my weekend kind of starts Thursday nights, to be fair. So you've got to make sure that you understand who your target audience is and when you feel that they are on social media, but don't overthink it, because we spend 2 hours and 38 minutes on average every single day scrolling through social media. And each time we go onto social media, we'll spend 18 minutes and we go down that rabbit hole. So don't worry about times or days. Just make sure you're putting your content out there so you get consistent. Once you're consistent, then you can start thinking about, okay, how did this post do? Did this post do okay? Because you can start looking at your insights, and then you can start looking after a month to go, okay, so these are the days that I should be focusing on. These are the days that I can be a little bit more hidden and don't have to do as much. Time wise, just think about when your audience are awake. Okay, and that's when the social media content needs to go out. But again, play around with it and see what works. To be fair, a Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn post have a shelf life of around 4 hours anyway. So if you go morning, midday and evening, you're going to hit at least. And with the algorithms and the way that the social media platforms are working at the moment, you'll see a post of mine tomorrow that was from 6 weeks ago. I'm really sorry if you missed out on the special offer, but just message me and I'll honour it, which is what I've done with a few people. So it's fine. This is what I love about social media at the moment, because it is tagging people in posts that I put out 6 weeks ago. So it's actually doing what I need it to do. There's no negativity there from me. Facebook can carry on doing that because it's working absolutely perfectly. So we need to make sure. Right, I'm just going to touch on hashtags. Okay, if you have to go, because I know this session was only supposed to be an hour. If you have to go, please do go. I'm going to cover hashtags and then we'll go into questions. So with hashtags, I'm going to basically share what I put out this post earlier. Okay, and this is no disrespect on the people that have commented, none at all. I just want to kind of share with you how we kind of show that we are the expert. So in the group that I am, the person put on business related question about hashtags on LinkedIn. Do you or don't you? Okay, so there was a post that was put on there. Someone said yes, apparently. So still, if they are light tags, so helps push your content out into the feeds and people that search for keywords but apparently don't use more than 2 or 3. So that was the comment from somebody else. This was my response. Okay. LinkedIn have recently said that using hashtags on the platform aren't that effective. It used to be 3, but the recent feedback is to focus more on keywords. Keywords as people are using these more within the search function. So every single social media platform has a search function now, and they work on keywords rather than hashtags. To be fair, the hashtag community section on LinkedIn never really took off. So LinkedIn had that basically a few years ago. They decided that they were going to take bits from other social media platforms. So they decided that they were going to start a hashtag community. So basically, when you used a hashtag on LinkedIn, it would take you to a new community, and then that meant that you could interact with other people, but it just never took off. So me going back to my response, it's the same with Instagram. People are using keywords to search rather than hashtags now. Okay, so unless you're spending time dedicating to doing hashtag research, there's no point in using hashtags on any platform. So when I talk about hashtag research, this is when you go in and look. So if we took Instagram, for example, we would look at a hashtag that we use on a regular basis. And what we would do is we would put that into Instagram, and we would look to see what other posts are using that hashtag. Then on those posts, we'd look to see what other hashtags those posts are using. We would then look at those hashtags, and you create this catalogue of hashtags that you should be using. So ideally, if you do want to use hashtags, you should be doing at least 20 to 30 minutes a month of hashtag research. And hashtag research is really interesting. One of the things that you need to be mindful of using hashtags is making sure that they have got good kind of numbers behind them as well. So you kind of have a select. So some in the hundreds, some in the thousands, some in the 100,000, some in the millions. But the other thing is as well, you can't overuse the hashtags that you're using, because Instagram will pick that up as spam, and then they will actually stop the reach engagement on your posts as well. Okay, so don't use hashtags. I'm going back to my response, by the way. Don't use them on Facebook, mainly due to keywords being more favorable. The last thing, so my last point about using hashtags, okay, and this is the psychology behind hashtags. They appear in blue on our posts, and our brains prefer blue text over black text. So when we see a post, and you know that 1 second rule, the attention span, what happens is our eyes deflect to the blue. That's what our brains take in, and they don't read or take in any of the black. So by using hashtags, it actually overpowers our posts. So in a way, you need to stop using them so the brain focuses on the actual content that you've put out. Okay, I hope that made sense. It made sense in my world. Just want to make sure it made sense in your world. So going back to my post, I always say test and do what's right for you. As your business, there's no right and there's no wrong. We are always testing the platform recommendations and suggestions, and we've stopped using hashtags for a lot of our clients and focus more on keywords, and the posts have been more effective. Okay, so I then got responses back that said, that's really useful, thank you, amazing, thank you. Someone else said, tried hashtags for the first time in a while on LinkedIn, and my post engagement has dropped. So again, it's just making people understand that, yes, I am a social media expert and I have an opinion on why we shouldn't use hashtags, but I'm actually explaining why my opinion is my opinion. All right. And that's what we need to do, because what that is also doing by me actually sharing my opinion, that's not upsetting the other person, because that other person has their own opinion, and I don't want them to feel that they've done something wrong or said something wrong. But I also want people to say, well, actually, Sam knows what she's talking about. So when I need social media help, she's the person that I'm going to go to. Okay, whether it's free or whether it's paid. And that's what I want to, that's what I want to generate. Okay. So that's what we want to talk about. Okay, so I hope that really helped. I'm just going to go into the chat and just see if there's any questions. Right. Okay, Karen, you're off to the big festoon. I'm going as well in March. I didn't go in March this year for a couple of reasons. One, it was hubby's 50th birthday, and we had something planned every single weekend in March, and I just thought 2 days away was just going to be too much. And then also, I wasn't sure how it was going to be with the bigger numbers, because when I was at Be Inspired in September, she was talking about 800 people in the room, and my anxiety and PTSD just couldn't cope with having 800 people in the room. So I wanted to actually see what it would be like, and from the post that I saw, I knew that she didn't have, I think she had 400 people in the room at the last one. So I thought, actually, do you know what, I can cope with that, and so I have got my ticket, so I am going. I'm really looking forward to it as well. So okay, yeah, it is an interesting way of actually comparing your social media to the shops, and that's how I kind of always talk about it, because people can relate to it, because it is something that we actually do experience in our lives, and it's really interesting from there as well. Yeah, I'm always honest. I'm always honest with people as well, because I do feel that you know, if you're genuine, then people will use that as well. So okay, cool, right, brilliant. Any questions, anything that I can help you with?
I only have one. It's how
Oh,
you talked about doing your themes.
yes.
How does that slot into your day? Is that would you use that at the sort of the last one of the day? So you've got your 3-tier marketing, so I would advertise what I'm promoting at the time.
Yeah.
And then the middle of the day post, I'll be taking bits out of that and how I help them. And then would I slot the themed things at the end of the day?
You can do them anytime. Do what works for you.
Yeah.
I tend to do, so what I kind of do with mine is I normally kind of have something that's themed or light-hearted in the morning. And then I tend to have, because that grow. So the idea is you want a post that's going to generate engagement, because what happens is the social media will ride, the algorithms ride on the success. So you're right. Okay. The algorithms ride on the success of your last post. So basically, when I'm doing a morning post, I want that post to be the engaging post. I want that the post to kind of go, okay, this is going to get a lot of people talking. So then what happens is when I then go and kind of put my business post out, it's going to ride on the algorithm of this, because what will happen is I'll put a post out talking. So I put a post out yesterday asking people, so my event in November, we're having table. So the evening is a party, a proper party where people get dressed up, black tie, glitzy ball gowns, whatever. You can wear wellies if you want, I don't care. But it's going to be tables with James Bond themed Casino Royal. We've got casino tables, we've got a DJ, we've got red carpet, the whole shebang. And the hotel have asked me, do I want buffet style? So people leave their tables, go up to buffet, get their food, go and sit down, or do I want it brought to the table? And the menus are amazing, and I love food. And when I go to an event, the food is one of the key things for me, because I do love food. And they sent the menus over, and I'm like, oh my god, the food on this one is amazing for the buffet, and the food for the sit down is amazing as well. Which one do I do? So I was like, right, I'm going to let Facebook decide. So I put a post out last night, and I had loads of people comment. I think only one person said buffet, so we've now opted for the sit down. See, I'm digressing again, but this is where I'm going. But what then happened was, because that post had a lot of engagement, it was then, right, let's get a sales post out. Because what then rides is, because the engagement on this post, the food post, the buffet post, was doing really, really well, it's pitched me here. So then when I go to put my post out, Facebook go, oh, there's lots of people engaging and interested in Sam, so we're going to build that engagement on this post, so it's going to help the reach and the engagement. So this is why, if you're putting out multiple posts each day, make sure that the first, if you are putting out a business post that is going to be promoting you or selling you, make sure you put something out before that's going to get lots of engagement. So it might be a case of something that's themed, or it might be, I need a new box set to watch on Netflix, or who's watching The Gentleman, or is it jam and cream first on a scone, or scone, whichever way you pronounce it. They're the engagement posts that are going to really help boost your business post as well. And this is where you need to think about your strategy around, okay, I've got my top tier and my middle tier, but I need the bottom tier to help boost the second and the first. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
perfect sense. Thank you.
cool. Mandy, it's completely starting out to use social media for business is a good strategy to start changing my personal profile to professional. You have explained everything so well and given lots for food for thought. See, food. She's thinking of food as well. Yeah, it is nearly lunchtime, isn't it? So I fast overnight, so lunchtime's like my first meal. So I'm like counting down the minutes from 11 o'clock. Anyway, okay. So with reference to professional mode, absolutely, yes. So if you are, one of the great things is with Facebook now in professional mode, they want you to promote your business on your personal profile. You still have that personal profile, but with professional mode, there's a couple of things that I love about it. One, you can schedule, which is great because you don't have to think to yourself, okay, I've got this post going out in the morning, this one in the afternoon, and then I've got to remember to do the one in the evening. So my posts for today, they've all been scheduled, okay, on my professional mode. You can only do it on mobile though, not desktop. That's not coming just yet. When you're sharing stories on your Facebook, you can add links, which is great because you can then just put your links in on your stories. You can see your insights, which are brilliant because you can then monitor to see which posts are working. You can run paid ads if you want to from your personal profile. You can get people following you. So if someone sends you a friend request, they automatically start following you, and you can grow your followers, which is brilliant because followers will actually see your posts first as well. And I do love professional mode. Now, some people may think differently and they've been on professional mode and they don't like it and they've reverted back, but it's because they haven't been consistent. All right. They've not done everything else. So again, I'm going back to this jigsaw puzzle where you need to do everything to make it work. Because if you don't do everything to make it work, then it's not a case of just doing one thing. You have to do all these little things. So, I was talking before about social media being a two-way street. We stick our posts out, but we need to connect with people. We need to, make new friends. We need to engage in other people's posts as well. We can't just put our posts out and go, do you know what, I'm not going to do anything else. Every single day, you need to be making new connections. You need to be engaging with those connections. You need to be, making sure that you're interacting with others as well. So it's really important to do all of that as well. Okay, so Mandeep said, yes, same wavelength about food. I'm with you. I don't know that about the post before needing better engagement for subsequent posts. Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that a lot of people, so this is why it's really good to have a strategy, because when you sit down and go, right, these are going to be my posts for today, these are my posts for tomorrow and the day after and the day after, you can then go, right, okay, which one needs to go out first? Which one needs to go next? Because you can then judge which one's going to get the most engagement to help you ride on the other post as well. Okay. So I hope that's been helpful, ladies. Yeah. Cool.
Sorry, I forgot that I wasn't on mute. I was going to say, I think I was going to type out, I think I need your membership just to be accountable for all of this stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I started the membership, is because we do have daily accountability in there. We were on a Facebook, well, we have a Facebook group, but Facebook groups at the moment are pants. And the problem was we've got like 60 people in the membership, and we were only getting 4 or 5 people seeing the post, even when I was doing the at everyone. So we made a decision, because the membership isn't just my membership, it's everyone's membership. So we made a collective decision to actually give WhatsApp a go, because at the moment I'm looking at a membership app that's going to be off Facebook, but that's going to take time to pull it all together and build. But so I just said to everyone, look, shall we try WhatsApp and see how we get on? I'm not going to make it busy. I'm not going to make it overwhelming. I'm going to make it so that you have have what you're paying for. And they were like, go on then, let's give it a go. And we moved over to WhatsApp about 3 weeks ago, and everyone's loving it because I was doing the daily accountability in the group, but no one was seeing it. And they're like, I got a couple of messages from people saying, Sam, as part of the membership, I'm supposed to get daily content ideas and accountability from you, and I'm not. And I'm like, but it's in there, because I screenshotted, and I'm like, look, they are in there. And she's, but I'm not seeing them. I'm like, well, I can't control that. So it was about making the decision. And since we've moved over to WhatsApp, it's great because when you see WhatsApp, you open it. And it's really lovely because people are now, the accountability goes in, but everybody else is helping everyone else with their accountability, and it's lovely. It really is. And they're putting their wins in there, and it's, other people are kind of going, well, if you can do that, I can do it. So it's great. It really is. But also we have people missing the sessions because, again, they weren't seeing the posts in the group. So now we've got everything in the WhatsApp. It's working really, really well. I'm really pleased with it. So I'm really excited about getting the app sorted, which hopefully will go live next month, because I just know it's just building a really, really lovely community as well. So yeah, if you want more information about that, that's fine. And as a Peaks member, you get £10 a month off as well. Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
And it's not a contract. You literally you can stay for as long as you like. Okay, so if you just want to give it a month and see how you get on, it's entirely up to you. I don't sign anyone up to contracts. We are launching, just about to go live with like the annual membership, and I'm doing a lifetime membership as well, because I wanted to give it 2 or 3 months of actually doing it, just to make sure it was right for everybody and we got everything right. And it's been great because everyone's been giving me feedback. And I've kind of taken that feedback and gone, okay, let's tweak this, let's change that. So now that I feel that the membership is where it needs to be, we're going to introduce the annual and the lifetime as well, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, it's good. Okay, fab. I'm really pleased that you've learnt lots, because that's the whole idea. If you've got any questions, please reach out to me. Just drop me a message. That's fine, because anything that you've kind of taken from today, if you've written notes down and kind of gone, oh, wasn't sure about that, or Sam, could you just explain that a little bit more? Just drop me a message. That's fine. It's not a problem at all. I'll check with Nicola if she wants this recording put in the group. But yeah, it's been lovely spending the last hour or so with you, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join as well.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a lovely rest of the day, ladies, and catch you later.
See you later.
Bye.